Welcome to Abhidhamma class, lesson 44. So let's start our Abhidhamma study, paying homage to the Buddha. Let's recite Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Let's start our today's Abhidhamma study on chapter 6 about the matter. In today's lesson, we are going to focus on the origination of matter. So origination of matters, and we have already studied the enumeration 28 rupa in the 11 groups, and also we have classified these 28 matter into different groups, internal or external, etc. Now in this lesson, we will focus on the origination of matter, and also matter will be classified according to their origination. Okay, so let's continue our study. Yeah, so the origination of matter is called in Pali Rupa Samutthana. Rupa Samutthana. There are 4 modes of origination, and in this lesson, we will identify what are the causes of origination. So what causes originate the materiality, and we will identify. And when the production by 4 ways, so we have to know when they start, and also how often in the life they repeat it during the course of life. And okay, what are the 4 modes of origination and originator? The rupa or matters are originated or produced by karma, and some produced by chitta, and some produced by udu and ahara. So karma, just translate as karma, is much better than translate given the other translation word. So chitta is consciousness, udu temperature, and ahara nutriment. The former 2 produced by the mentalities, karma and chitta. Both are mentalities, and they later 2, udu and ahara, temperature, nutriment, both are materiality itself. So in this slide, we have to notice that there are 4 modes or 4 causes. Those produce the matters. The former 2, mentality, and the later 2 are materialities. Okay, let's continue. What are the 4 causes? As you know, the gamma. So gamma produces the matter. The matter produced by the gamma are called the gamma samutthana rupa, which is translated as material phenomena originating from gamma. And also they are called the gammaja rupa, gamma born matter. And 2 names, 2 usage will be okay if you use for the matters produced by gamma. Gamma samutthana rupa or gammaja rupa. In the same way, the material phenomena produced by chitta are called Chitta Samutthana Rupa or Chittaja Rupa. So Chitta Samutthana Rupa is translated as the material phenomena originating from Chitta. And for the Chittaja Rupa, consciousness born matter. And the third one, the material phenomena produced by Uttu. Uttu is temperature. So Uttu Samutthana Rupa is translated as material phenomena originating from temperature. Or if we use the word Uttuja Rupa, it is translated as the temperature born matter. And the last one, Ahara Samutthana Rupa, which is produced by nutriment. So material phenomena originating from nutriment, or Aharaja Rupa, nutriment born matter. Okay. These are four types of materialities according to their origination. For origination, produced four types. Okay, so let's identify Kamma, Chitta, Uttu, and Ahara. So there are 25 kinds of wholesome and unwholesome karma. So as we have studied in former chapters, so karma, so if you remember about the karma and result. So karma reference to wholesome and unwholesome, those have the potency to produce results, wholesome and unwholesome. The result itself being produced by the karma, they cannot produce. And also the functional consciousness, the other types, it's functional consciousness, they cannot produce. That is why when we use the word karma, that usually refers to the wholesome and unwholesome. So here in this case, only 25 kinds of wholesome and unwholesome karma can produce the karma samutthana or karmaja rupa, karma born matter. So what are the 25? Sense sphere karma 20 and 5 material sphere karma 5. So karma can be classified into two types in this way. The sense sphere related to the under the 54 sense sphere consciousness, and 5 karma under the classification of 5 material sphere consciousness. So here in the 20 sense sphere karma, we can find 12 unwholesome. So altogether 12 unwholesome consciousness, and the volition associated with these 12 unwholesome consciousness are called the unwholesome karma. And wholesome here refers to the great wholesome age. So altogether 12 karma or 12 types of volition associated with 20 types of volition associated with 20 sense sphere consciousness are called the sense sphere karma 20. In the same way, the 5 material sphere karma refers to the volition associated with 5 wholesome 5 material sphere consciousness. So now we understand what are the 25 kinds of wholesome and unwholesome karma that produce karma born matter. So what are the consciousness that produce the consciousness born matter? Consciousness born matter. And here the number is given 75. So among the 89, what are the 75 to produce the materialities? So here the enumeration give the given the excluding the immaterial sphere resultant. excluding the immaterial sphere resultant 4 and the two set of 5% consciousness, those are called in Pali the Dripanja Vinyana. In the Ahiduka consciousness, they are very weak. Just depends on the fight sensitivity, physical sensitivity. That is why they are very weak. They cannot produce the matter. So 14 consciousness cannot produce materiality. That is why only 75 SF immaterial resultant 4 and two set of 5 sense consciousness, Pripanja Vinyana. Altogether, 75 consciousness can produce the consciousness-born matter. Now, what about the Udu temperature? What does temperature mean according to the Abhidhamma? The fire element is temperature. It includes both cold and heat. Cold also temperature and heat also temperature. But if we refers to the ultimate reality for both cold and heat, we get the fire element. Only one ultimate reality. So that fire element, being cold or heat, can produce the matter. That can be the beginning of the earth and material universe, the fire element. And the ahara nutriment, the materiality of nutriment, it does not refer to the food what we are eating. Inside the food, there is nutritive essence inside the food. That kind of materiality can produce another type of materiality, which is called the nutriment von matter inside the body. So now we can identify what are the 4 causes of origination or 4 causes of matters. In the specified realities. So 25 kinds of wholesome and unwholesome gamma, 75 kinds of consciousness, and fire element, and nutritive essence, which is called a nutriment, materiality of nutriment. And regarding the ahara, there are other types of ahara, the mental nutriment. So here in this case, we are talking about the material nutritive essence that produce the materiality. And if we talk about the mental nutriment, and in next chapter or chapter 7 of the Abhidhamma Sangaha, we will talk about the ahara, more ahara, and they are called the mentalities of nutriment. But here, nutriment, ahara refers to the materiality of nutriment. Okay, so let's continue for more about the 4 causes of matter. And here, wholesome and unwholesome, reference to the volition. The 25 karma refers to the one type. If we talk about the ultimate reality, it is only one type, but depends on the associated consciousness. Wholesome and unwholesome, volition become the 25 kinds, and also we can count the 25 kinds of karma. And here, volition associated with the 12 unwholesome consciousness, great wholesome consciousness 8, and 5 material wholesome consciousness 5, altogether 25. That is the karma that produce the karma von matter. And why the wholesome immaterial sphere karma? So if we count the karma, so the unwholesome karma, wholesome karma. So here wholesome karma include the great wholesome in the sense pure consciousness and five material wholesome citta, five. But the remaining wholesome cannot produce the karma von matter. Wholesome karma cannot produce the karma von matter. So we have to know why. And here in this case, we have to understand the karma and their result. And you can check, we already talked about the karma and their result. So here, the karma can be classified. So unwholesome. Unwholesome karma can produce the apaya patisandhi. Apaya patisandhi. So rebirth in the woeful state. That patisandhi refers to the mentalities and also materiality at the moment of rebirth. It is the life in the woeful state. So unwholesome karma produced at the moment of rebirth in the woeful state. There, the materialities arise. They are karma von matter at the moment of rebirth. From that time on, the karma von matter continue in the woeful state as long as the being is there. And great wholesome consciousness. So great wholesome consciousness, because it has the nature of wholesomeness, it can produce the good result. So it produces the karma sugati patisandhi, because this is the karma vachara kusala, so sense pure wholesome. That's why when it produces also in the rebirth in the sense pure realm of existence, at the moment of rebirth, starting from that rebirth consciousness, at the moment of rebirth consciousness, the karma produce the great wholesome citta produce its result. There, the rebirth consciousness and karma von matter. And also, five material wholesome consciousness, the volition being the karma to be born in the Brahma world. It produces at the moment of rebirth consciousness in the five material sphere. It produces the rebirth consciousness of Brahma, five material Brahma, and materiality. There also the karma von matter. So they produce according to their realm of existence. But here, immaterial karma, if it produces the rebirth, it will produce in the immaterial sphere, immaterial realm of existence. Because that realm is immaterial sphere, there's no materiality in that realm. So when it produces the wholesome immaterial sphere consciousness, generate the rebirth in the immaterial plane. Because the plane itself is absent the materiality. So according to that nature, the immaterial sphere karma cannot produce the matter, mind and karma born matter. So what about it produce the other realm of existence? If we think about that, so the immaterial sphere karma does not produce any result in other existence, other realm of existence. It produces only the respective existence of immaterial plane. So in this connection, we can understand the wholesome immaterial sphere karma cannot produce matter. So this is how the karma produce. So here, the volition as a karma. So volition is you may remember that the volition being a universal mental factors, one of the 7 universal mental factors, it can associate with every types of consciousness, every 89. So in case of wholesome, unwholesome, wholesome, the volition associate with all types of consciousness. Now we already understand that volition being a karma produce the karma born matter in respective realm of existence. And also the immaterial sphere karma cannot produce matter due to the plane of existence itself absent the materiality, all types of materiality. And let's continue about the consciousness. So here, Chitta refers to the 75 kinds of consciousness. So here, it says 4 immaterial resultants. So now you understand that immaterial resultant just occurs in the immaterial plane of existence as a rebirth consciousness of immaterial Brahma. Brahma in the immaterial plane of existence. So it just takes that function, Patisandhi, Bhavanga, or Chutti. The rebirth linking, life continuum, and death moment of the Brahma in the immaterial plane of existence. It just performed that only 3 functions. That is why they cannot produce. And also produce the mind-born matter or consciousness-born matter. And also the 2 set of 5 4 sense consciousness, Dvipanja Vijnana. So only 75 can produce. So when it starts, so starting from the arising moment of first Bhavanga. So for the karma born matter, when they start, mean there at the moment of Patisandhi, the present moment, the arising moment of Patisandhi, rebirth consciousness, the karma born matter start. And for the consciousness born matter, it starts from the arising moment of first Bhavanga. And we will see what is the difference between the karma born matter and consciousness born matter. So now you get the starting point of the consciousness born matter. It is second one, the first Bhavanga. So, okay, let's focus on the types of the consciousness that cannot produce the matter. So here, the 4 immaterial resulting consciousness cannot produce matter. Why? Because they just arise only in the immaterial realms as a rebirth of life continuum or the death moment of the immaterial Brahma. That is why they never arise in the plane of existence where the materiality can be produced. That is why the 4 immaterial resultant also cannot produce the matter. And the 2 set of 5 4 sense consciousness cannot produce. Why? Because they lack the power to produce the matter. They lack the power. So, as I said, they just depends on the sense faculties, and they just depends on the objects. Their base is eye faculty, eye sensitivity, etc. So lack the power to produce matter. And this is the reason given in the sub-commentary. And here in the Abhidhamma Sangha, it mentioned only 2 types, the exception. So Arupa Vipaka and Vipanja Vijnana, only 14 consciousness are exception. But the commentary explain that rebirth consciousness, so all types of rebirth consciousness also cannot produce matter. Cannot produce matter. So why? The rebirth consciousness is a newcomer to the new existence. So newcomer in the new existence. That's why it is weak to produce the consciousness from matter. What about the matter at the moment of rebirth? What produce? Mean the karma. When the karma produce the rebirth in any existence, it's produce the karma from matter together with the rebirth consciousness. So only the karma from matter arise at the moment of rebirth. So already take place the karma from matter. It is called the Katata Rupa or Karma Samutthana Rupa. And when you read the Patthana, and you will see at the moment of the Patisandhi, Katata Rupa, that refers to the karma from matter, not consciousness from matter. That is why the starting moment of the consciousness from matter is the arising moment of past bhavanga, which follow to the rebirth consciousness, is second one in the life, second moment of the life. That is called the first bhavanga. So the bhavanga, the series of the bhavanga follow to the rebirth linking consciousness. After the rebirth linking consciousness, bhavanga take place around the 16 or 17 times, 15 or 16 times. So there, the first bhavanga, the arising moment of first bhavanga is the starting point of the consciousness from matter. And also, the death consciousness of Araha cannot produce matter. At the moment of death consciousness of Araha is called the Parinibbana Chuti. Because the Araha have no more continuity of matter for next life, even the next life, they don't have even the next life. That's why no of continuity of matter for the Araha after death. So the death consciousness does not produce the materiality. So we can add two more, the rebirth consciousness and the death consciousness of Araha. So how many consciousness need to be excluded? So they are not this separate consciousness. So rebirth consciousness is, it repeat, the rebirth consciousness repeat during the course of existence after the Patisandhi, after the rebirth linking moment. It repeat performing the function of life continuum, bhavanga. At the last moment of the life, it repeat performing the function of death. That is why, although the rebirth consciousness cannot produce the matter, we don't need to remove any number of consciousness. And also the death consciousness of Araha, it is not different from the other beings' death consciousness. So the death moment is the same types. That is why for both group of consciousness, we don't need to make any exclusion. So only the 14 are exception to produce the consciousness from matter. So only 75. Then the third causes, the Utu, temperature, beginning from the stage of present moment, at the moment of rebirth linking chitta. So here, the present moment of Patisandhi or rebirth linking chitta is the starting point of the temperature-borne matter. So temperature-borne matter start at the present moment of the rebirth Lincoln consciousness. Here, how it is produced. But the internal fire element, so fire element is Utu. So we can understand the internal fire element and external fire element. So among in these two fire elements, the internal fire element, where we can find, so it can be found in the materiality groups born of gamma. So when the gamma produces the materiality arises in the group. As we have said in the lesson 43. So they are inseparable matters. There are 8 inseparable matter, and adding some life faculty, etc. They becomes the group of materiality of the materiality cluster. They are produced by the gamma. At the moment, we can say their materiality group or material group born of gamma, of the cluster produced by the gamma. Inside that group, the group of materiality, there is one fire element. So in every group of materiality, the fire element exists because it is one of the great essential inseparable rupa. So in every material group born of gamma, there is fire element. If they are produced inside our body inside the living beings, they are called the internal fire element. In each group of materiality contain the internal fire elements that is inside and combined with the external fire element. So external fire element is all the time, the heat or cold outside the body. So by the support of the external fire element, the internal fire elements produce the organic material phenomena originating from temperature. So that becomes the temperature-borne matter inside the body. So when it can start, at the moment of the Padisandhi, at the moment of the rebirth Lincoln consciousness, the gamma produced, starting from the arising moment, in every moment, the gamma produce the material group born of gamma, or gamma born materiality group. There inside of that material group, there is internal fire element. So by the support of external fire element, the Utu internal fire element produce the organic material phenomena inside the living being. That is called the temperature-borne matter. So when it starts, the present moment of the rebirth Lincoln consciousness, because starting from the arising phases or arising moment of rebirth Lincoln consciousness, the group of gamma-borne matter starts. So it starts, the production of the temperature-borne matter is started at the moment of the present moment of the rebirth Lincoln consciousness. So just one sub-moment later than the gamma-borne matter. So first, the arising moment of the rebirth Lincoln consciousness, gamma-borne matter start. And the present moment of rebirth Lincoln consciousness, temperature-borne matter start. Then the dissolution moment skip. And at that moment, the gamma-borne matter continue in every sub-moment. But the arising moment of the second consciousness, which is called the Pasbhavanga, the consciousness-borne matter start. So the first one is karma born matter, second one is temperature born matter, and the third one is consciousness born matter. In this way, we can make the order. But in order to make the groove, karma and consciousness, because they are the same as the being the mentalities. That is why karma chitta after the utu and ahara. Because the utu, temperature, and ahara, nutritive essence, are the same, being the materialities. So that is why the Abhidhamma Sangha make this order. And now we understand the time of production. The karma born matter start, and the temperature born matter, second one, at the present moment of rebirth linking consciousness. And the consciousness born matter follow, being the thought in the horizon time. So after the fire element, so after that refers to the past moment, the production, the internal fire element with the combination of external fire element, because when the outside the temperature come into the body, effect to the body, so our internal fire element produce the temperature born matter inside the body. Then after the fire element in the material group born of all four causes. So when the four causes of materiality produce the materiality, they arise, the materialities are produced in the groove. So they are called the materiality groove born of four causes. There in every group, the internal fire elements is it. So it continues to produce the organic material phenomena. So inside the body, organic refers to the inside the living being, born of temperature in the course of existence. So as long as the living being alive in it is life. So the temperature born matter continue. This is how the temperature born matter start and continue. So even the material group born of temperature, inside that group, there is internal fire element, and it continues to cause the other materialities. Then, what about the external materiality? Also, the external temperature of the external fire element also produce the inorganic, so it's not inside the living being. So inorganic material phenomena, such as the climatics or geological transformation. Due to that production of the temperature born matter outside the living being, we can see, or we can see the climatic transformation or climate change or geological transformation. So that Udu Samutthana Rupa started for the transformation of the universe. Okay, this is the Udu Samutthana Rupa. So let's continue for the last one, Ahara Samutthana Rupa, nutriment. So here in the Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi's books, you can see the internal nutritive essence supported by external, produce the material phenomena at the moment of present moment of. So the moment of present refers to the nutritive essence present. So nutritive essence also one of the materiality. So it also has three phases or three sub-moments: arising, present, and dissolution. So at the moment of arising, it cannot produce because the materiality are stronger at the moment of present. So the present moment is strongest for the materiality. But For the mentality, the arising moment is stronger. This is the difference between mentality and materiality. So the temperature form matter also produce at the moment of present. And also here, the nutriment bone matter also produce at the moment of present, because they are produced by the materiality, and materialities are strongest in present moment, not rising moment and not in the dissolution moment. So when it is start, it is not related to the rebirth linking or the any process of mentality. It just produce when it is swallowed, when it is swallowed. But this is just expression to let the listener easier or reader to understand easier. So Sarah Usilananda explained that, and also many of our Abhidhamma scholars explain that before it is swallowed, just put on the tongue. There, the taste parts are there in the surface of the tongue. When the nutritive essence is put on the tongue, starting from that produce the nutriment bone matter. So although it is expressed as the when it is swallowed, but sometimes the inside the mother is one. When the mother takes the nutriment, and that nutriment spreading over the baby, not inside the mouth, not on the tongue, just touch the body and take going into the body. In that way also the nutritive external nutritive essence can support. At that time, the internal nutritive essence produces the material phenomena inside the body. And this is how the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma. But the Sarah Usilananda say, actually, the reasonable explanation is, it is not the one. There are some argument about the internal or external nutritive essence produce the material phenomena. But our Abhidhamma scholar of the Sayadaw Shinsanaka Piwansa, he explained that when we take supplement fats or the medicine, the external nutriment or external nutritive essence going into our body, it changed a lot in our body. So the explanation of the Visuddhimagga Mahatika, which is called the sub-commentary of the Visuddhimagga, that is the external nutritive essence. External nutritive essence when go into the body, it produced supported by the internal. So the internal or external, the argument. But when we consider about the nature of ultimate reality, the ultimate reality are arising and understand the dissolving in very fast process. Although we say that we swallow something, the ultimate reality of nutritive essence is very fast. If we divide the 1 second into the millions of times, and only a few times take place for the nutritive essence just arise and disappear. So when we swallow, it is absorbed and absorbed by the body. Then that is a new one. That is why, so the argument is based on that time moment, because it is changing very fast. Although we swallow, it become the internal or external. What is internal or what is external? So something we take before that in external, and then supported the when it go into our body after eating, after swallow, it become the changes, internal or external. So not very easy to identify. So they are arguing that, but the comprehensive manual or Abhidhamma say the internal nutritive essence. But Abhidhamma itself, Abhidhamma Sangha itself say that nutritive essence, oja sankhado aharo. So oja referring to the nutritive essence of materialities. It is just said in that way, not mentioned as internal or external. Okay, so now according to the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma, it is internal one. But the Abhidhamma scholar, the Venerable Usilananda, he explained that two way of explanation come in the text of the commentary and sub-commentary. So internal, some suppose as internal, and some suppose as external for the nutritive essence which produce the nutriment-borne matters. Okay, then so nutritive essence that has reached present. So when it arises, after arising moment, become the present moment. So it is longer than the mind moment. So 17 mind moment. That material group originating from nutriment. They also continue to produce the further octets. So octet is the a group of 8 materialities, inseparable materialities. And we call that is the Rupakalapa, the pure Rupakalapa. Inside that, nutritive essence also contains all the time, consists all the time. So thus, the occurrence of the octets link up 10 or 12 times. So after the production of the nutritive essence, for another group of materiality born of nutriment, inside that group also the nutriment is there. It also produces another group. In this way, it continued to the 10 or 12 times. After that, maybe it's, the potency to produce gone out. And here, so with regard to the temperature borne matter, so internal temperature that produce rupa. So this is the explanation from the handbook of Abhidhamma study. In the second board, page number 340, you can see that Venerable Sayadaw Usilananda explained that with regard to the temperature borne matter for the Udu. So it is the internal one which produces the rupa. Now with regard to the nutriment borne matter, it is the external one. So, but it is contrary to the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma. So comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma say the internal nutritive essence just produce the material from materialities. So here, Venerable Sayadaw Usilananda explained in this way. This is the difference between the temperature borne matter and nutriment borne matter. So internal and external. So the sub-commentary of Visuddhimagga explained that the internal nutritive essence produces the matter. So not external. Internal is external is just suppose. external is just support. This is the sub-commentary say. So the Venerable Sayadaw Bhikkhu body follow to the sub-commentary of Visuddhimagga explanation. Then, okay, so this is the what we have to know about the four causes. In specification, we know the four causes: Kamma, Chitta, Utu, Ahara. And now it is time to continue to the matters produced by four causes. Among the 28 materiality, how many materialities are produced by the Kamma and how many are produced by consciousness, etc.? Let's see. It's not difficult. You know that if you just follow the test and you cannot make the conclusion and you get confusion. So now I just focus on the explanation, but all the explanation based on the text. So you need to study together the text, how the text explain, the original explanation of the text. And you can see, you can check in the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma, there the Pali and translation come together. So here, the material phenomena of heart and the 8 faculties. So 8 faculties are one of Kamma. We already talked about the 8 faculties. The 8 faculties are Pasada, Bhava, Jivita. So Pasada, fight sensitivity, and Bhava, femininity and masculinity. So these two are Bhava and also Jivita, life faculty. So these 8 are called the 8 faculty. With the heart, all 9 consciousness, 9 materialities are born of Kamma. And second one, the 2 media of intimation. 2 media of intimation are born only consciousness. So it is born only consciousness. So this is only Kamma, only consciousness. And the sound is born of consciousness and temperature. So 2 causes. Sometimes the sound is produced by the consciousness. Sometimes some sound is produced by the temperature itself. So outside the sound. And the sound based on the living being is at an internal materialities. They are produced by the consciousness. So sound is produced by the consciousness and temperature, 2 causes. And the triple qualities of lightness, the lightness, malleability, worldliness, the 3 mutable materialities, they arise due to the temperature, consciousness, and nutriment. So they are produced by 3 causes, sometimes produced by temperature. So when we get the fair weather and supported by the suitable temperature, our body becomes light, etc. And when we are happy or we feel lightness of the materialities. And sometimes when we get the proper food, or sometimes when we take the some foods, some nutriment, and heaviness or lightness of the body becomes come to appears. So in this way, triple qualities of lightness, malleability, and worldliness are produced by 3 causes, or temperature, consciousness, and nutriment. And the number 5 group is inseparable material phenomena. There are 8 inseparable material phenomena, and the element of space, they arise due to the 4 causes. All 4 causes can produce the 9 materialities. So for the 6th group, the characteristic material phenomena. So there are 4 characteristic material phenomena. They are not produced by any cause. So they do not arise from any causes. So in this way, we get first group produced only by Kamma. Second group produced by only consciousness. Third group produce 2 causes of consciousness and temperature. The fourth group produced by 3 causes of temperature, consciousness, and nutriment. The fifth group produced by all 4 causes, and this, the last group are not produced by any cause. So you may get confused how they can arise without any cause, without any cause. So they are not the real rupa. So as we have discussed in previous lesson, so the real rupa 18, and they are just the characteristic of the root materiality, the real materialities. So they are not produced according to themselves. If we focus only the characteristic, they are not produced by any cause. But being the characteristic of the materiality, they appear due to all 4 causes. Okay, so let's see according to the number of the causes. So here only gamma 1 causes, and second group also only gamma 1 causes. So the materiality produced by 1 causes are 11. Yeah, first group and second group. And the materialities produced by 2 causes is only 1, sound. And the third group, 3 causes, produced by 3 causes, only 3. So triple qualities. And materiality produced by 4 causes are 9. And causeless materialities are 4. So we can make the conclusion: 1 causes 11, 2 causes 1, and 3 causes 3, and 4 causes 9. So 4 causeless 4. In this way, altogether 28 materiality. So when we count the gamma bone matter, so we have to count the first group, 9 materiality, and also the 5 group, 9 materiality. So gamma bone matter are 18. And if we count the consciousness bone matter, we don't need to count the first group, and we have to count the second and also the third. So second 2, third 1, 3. And also the fourth one, 3, altogether 6. And with the 5 group, 9. It becomes the consciousness bone materiality as 15. And if we count the temperature bone matter, so starting from the third group, sound 1, and another 4 group, there 3. So we get the 4, and with the 4 causes, 9, become the nutrient bone matter are altogether 13. And if we count, the temperature bone matter are 13, and if we count the nutrient bone matter, so number 4 group and 5 group altogether 12. So in this way, we can easily count, or we can easily get the enumeration of the materiality produced by the different causes. So gamma bone matter 18, not difficult if you select out from this slide. And consciousness bone matter 15, temperature bone matter 13. There are gamma bone matter 18, and consciousness bone matter 15, temperature bone matter 13, and nutrient bone matter 12. So this is the way how we can easily memorize the number of the materiality born of the specific causes. Okay, so let's see the number. So not difficult, you can count the gamma bone matter 18, gamma rupa. So materiality born of gamma 18. So heart base, faculty. So what are the faculty? 5 sensitivity, sensual phenomena, life phenomena, and inseparable 8. Inseparable 8 and space altogether 9 are born of 4 causes. We already know in the former slide. already mentioned that. So inseparable matter, you have to count the inseparable matter, color, smell, taste, and nutritive essence. So nutritive essence is always inside the every material cluster because they are it is one of the inseparable H and 4 great essential. And also the fire element being a cause of the materiality. It also inside in every material group because they are inseparable. Okay, so gamma bond matter already know. So the gamma produce the gamma bond matter when it starts. So the arising sub-moment of rebirth linking consciousness. From the arising sub-moment, it produces each sub-moment arising, present, and dissolution of every sub-moment of our life from the beginning to the end. So gamma bond matter are arising all the time. In every moment, newly arise. So arising moment also arise. Present moment also arise. This even in the moment of dissolution of the consciousness, the gamma bond matter start arising. Okay, you can see the page number 247. Let's continue. So consciousness bond matter 15. So 2 media of intimation are born of only consciousness. So if we say the conscious materiality born of consciousness only, we get only two media of intimation. But if we count all consciousness born matter, we get the 15. In this way, the mutable vikara rupa 5. So including the media of intimation, the vikara rupa, the mutable become 5. So intimation 2 and lightness, malleability, and volatility. So these are vikara rupa. And these consciousness born matter, 15 consciousness born matter are produced starting from the arising sub-moment of first bhavanga chitta. First bhavanga, this is not the rebirth linking, this is the second chitta, which is immediately after the rebirth consciousness. So this is second chitta. This is later than the temperature born matter because this is the second one. So at the moment of rebirth linking consciousness, the consciousness born matter does not arise. They only the gamma born matter, and at the moment of present sub-moment, the temperature born matter, they arise. So if we count what types of consciousness arise at the moment of rebirth linking, we have to understand the gamma born matter and temperature born matter. So, and after that, the consciousness born matter arise. Then temperature born matter. So altogether 13. They are the lightness traits. So only 3 lightness, malleability, and volatility because the 2 media of intimation are produced only by consciousness, not by temperature. So it becomes 13. Then they are produced starting from the present sub-moment because the temperature is fire element. Being one of the materiality, its strongest moment is present sub-moment. That is why the present sub-moment of rebirth linking consciousness is that. According to the commentator here, the strongest moment, mental phenomena, the arising moment, material phenomena, present moment are strongest. Okay, so for the nutriment born matter, altogether 12. So we already know how to count. And starting from the time when it is swallowed, it is just the expression. So just the expression, we already know how it starts. The rebirth linking chitta does not produce, so this is not necessary. So consciousness born matter is okay. Here, nutriment taken by the pregnant mother, pervading the body of embryo, so originate the materiality. So it is not a swallow. It's not really swallow, but it can produce.